the deep recesses of one's mind, there is a voice, a guiding light through the darkness, a connection to the other side.
You're ready to wake up, you're going to wake up. And if you're not ready, you're going to stay pretending that you're just a poor little me.
Pathway to spiritual that echoes with enlightenment. The voice of spirit.
The voice of spirit.
You are a function of this total galaxy, bounded by the Milky Way, and that furthermore, this galaxy is a function of all other galaxies.
Your journey starts here and now. With your host and connection to spirit, Leo Bonomo.
A very, very warm welcome as usual, and a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, wherever you happen to be in the world. We've got a great tarot reader, Brandy Joy, on today, and she's very well accomplished, quite very well known, and on TV, etc. So we're going to be talking to her, and she does wonderful work with the tarot. She also teaches tarot, so if you want a masterclass, we'll be getting into all those kinds of details during the show. So if you do want to make a donation, then you can go to KCOR and look up the show and click on donate. We'll be very grateful. Every dollar, every cent helps, so that's something wonderful. And if you do want to read about my book Summerland, you can find that on Amazon all over the world. So without further ado, hi Brandy, how are you?
Hi there. I'm doing wonderful, thank you. Thank you so much for having me on the show. How are you?
I'm good, and it's my privilege. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. There's, I think if we look at sort of tarot reading and mediumship, I wouldn't quite know who has the edge over that if we're talking about the amount of population that goes to it. But tarot is extremely popular, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, and it's getting more and more and more popular, just so much recently, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's because people, they're becoming more aware, they're becoming more inquisitive, and I think it's not just to, Facebook and the internet. People are becoming more honest about experiences that they have, so this whole subject's literally exploded, hasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Tell us when you first got interested in tarot. How did you come by your first pack?
It was 19 years ago in the year 2000. Easy to remember, right? And my mom and I were shopping, and she's a natural psychic. It's not something that she did professionally or anything, but she's a natural psychic, clairvoyant, and a medium. And she just walked up to me in the store and she said, "I'm buying these for you." And I was like, "What? Why are you buying me those cards?" And she was like, "I don't know. I just feel like I'm supposed to." And she bought them for me. And at that point, I started studying them and playing with them. And man, it took me forever to learn the cards because back then we did not have the ways to learn them that we do now. I had no connections. I just had to read books, and books are not a great way to read tarot cards, really.
No, they're not. We were sort of discussing that before the show, wasn't we? That most good tarot readers, they buy the pack and they put the handbook to one side and they just go by intuition. And I've always found that's, if you connect that way, it's a lot easier because it's easier to learn the techniques and learn, how you feel about the colours and maybe certain shapes and things that you're drawn to. If that's fairly instinctive, it's easier to do that than to go through, because there are there 72 cards in the deck? I know some decks vary, don't they?
Yeah, there's 76, but yeah, I wasn't tapped into my intuition for the first few years I was trying to read, and I really didn't even know that. And I think a lot of people don't know that. They think that when you're reading the cards, you just look at the card, you pull a card, you look at the card, and then you look it up in the book. And myself, I was the same way. I was very mental about it. I was in a master's program in school. I was very much into science and things like that. And I was trying to figure out why some people could read these things, and I was just like, what does intuition mean? And my mom would tell me, well, just go with your gut and how you feel. And I'm like, what are you talking about? That makes no sense to me at all. It took me a long time to really get into understanding how to feel and how to connect. And that's something that I teach people now, is how to get into that intuitive, area that I had a hard time getting into.
Yeah, because I think if the intuition doesn't come naturally, and I think this does apply to scientists as well, they're taught a particular way. They've got a fairly narrow way of looking at things, and if it doesn't fit in, then it can't be right, and so they look at that. So it's I think you've done very well to kind of gradually put that way of thinking aside and just connect with intuition. But practice, as they say, makes perfect. However, I think you do need a bit of a gift with it, because it's like anything, there are plumbers and there are plumbers. There are some that can connect a pipe, and others that can just ruin anything, as in any trade. So you need a knack for it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I kind of agree and I kind of disagree there, because I've been able to teach people that, just like me, had no idea what intuition was, and I was full on like atheist for, quite a few years. I would explore all these religions and try to figure out what the heck's going on and why people believed what they did and how people could be psychic and all of this. And so, I really feel like everybody has the sense, everybody has the ability to get tapped in. But I think that it, just like you said, everybody's on different levels. Like a plumber has to go to school, a plumber has to get certified. So same thing with like tarot reading and stuff. You can learn from a mentor, you can learn from classes, and you can develop it, but you're not going to necessarily, it might take you a whole lot longer to get to the point where, say, I am as a professional tarot reader, if you're not as naturally inclined to it. So some people are more clairvoyant naturally. Some people are more clairsentient, but there are these different levels of gifts, right?
Oh, absolutely. And I think, for me, I was kind of born with this, so there was never any question. But if you look at spiritualism, so many people that are the cornerstones historically of spiritualism, they were atheists, they were skeptic, they were great doubters. And I think when you come from the angle that you do, and you kind of think, right, I'm really going to research it because it doesn't feel right, doesn't look right. I think when you take it apart critically, that's when you find the truth of things.
Yeah.
And then you have an unshakable understanding of it because you've kind of taken it apart piecemeal.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's one way to go about it. And I always tell everybody, it's just like reading and writing and everything that we do, riding a bike. If you learn the fundamentals, the basics, and you really are persistent with it, you can develop, different things. You can become pretty good at math. You can become pretty good at writing or speaking, and you can become pretty good at tarot reading. But, you have to actually practice it. And that's what a lot of people miss, is they get lazy and they just don't want to keep, working at it real hard to get it.
Yeah. And I think like mediumship, people think, well, it's dead easy, you just do this and you do that and the world opens up, which doesn't give us as light workers a lot of respect, but people think that, but then again, people think I can wire a plug, it's no problem, and burn the house down. Sometimes it's 3 wires. I think it's still 3 wires in the States, but you can do a lot of damage if you don't know what you're doing. So I think it's great. Tell us a little bit about your site and where people can get readings from you.
Well, I have two websites. I have just a regular brandyjoy.com because it's easy, right? Everybody kind of looks up brandyjoy.com. And that's where I schedule readings every once in a while. I teach at a university, and I also run a membership and a tarot masterclass. So and I do broadcasts. So I stay really, really busy. So I don't do a whole lot of readings anymore. But I still schedule a couple every month. I'll open up a few days that I can. But that's brandyjoy.com. And then I have a website for learning, and that's vibecourses.com. That's V as in, very vibe courses.
Oh, that's fantastic. So if anyone wants to have a look at those and wants to learn, then it's certainly the place to go. When did you become professional? When did you feel that, I've now reached a stage that I need to be open to more people?
Yeah, I think that was 2007. So the first 7 years I read them for myself and just friends and family and stuff. But I'm a pretty obsessive person. So when I read them, I was like, the cards were with me every day for those 7 years. You know what I mean? Like, I was very much a reader. I would sit there for hours sometimes and just try to study the cards, and then in 2007, I was like, I'm reading for so many of my friends and family at this point. I think I could actually go out and do something with this professionally. And there was an ad to work at Universal Studios in Orlando here in Florida. And they were looking for a psychic. And I was like, really? Universal is looking for a psychic? And then I found out that they had a whole psychic tent at Universal Studios. And it was a third-party company. I think they still do it there. They tried to move it away from Harry Potter because they were like, well, we don't want to step on any toes. But yeah, I worked there. And I remember the psychic that interviewed me, she actually helped me tremendously. She was a mentor for me in a way that day that she interviewed me, because she sat me down and she said, okay, pull some cards for me. I said, okay. So I start pulling cards, and I'm sitting there looking at the cards and kind of talking. She goes, no. She said, you need to go faster. She said, you need to stop thinking. And she said, you just need to throw cards and just keep talking. And I was like, oh, okay. She said, you have to trust yourself. And so I just started throwing cards and talking, and I pulled the whole deck for her and just read for her. And she was like, that was one of the best readings I've ever had. And so she hired me. And from there, I opened an office here in Winter Park, Florida for quite some time. And since then, I've been reading online and everything now. So,
that's good. I think that's a very important point, because trusting yourself and trusting that spirit link that comes with tarot, exactly the same as mediumship, letting go and trusting, it is so important, because I have students sometimes that so want to do the right thing that they slow down, they check everything they're saying, and you can easily lose the link like that. Because when you're sort of thinking in a normal sense, you ground yourself. And it's a very important point that you've made there, that it is trust, but it is just letting go and letting the whole thing flow.
Yep.
That's fantastic.
Man, that was scary when I was reading for this like older professional psychic that ran this big company. I was like, oh my God, this is like scary. And so I was just like putting out a spread,
Yeah. Well, again, I think, so I never get nervous at all about anything. But generally, it sounds like a contradiction. I think it's good to get nervous, because the adrenaline gets going, everything starts to flow, and then that's when you kind of really get into the mode. And I think if you can do that as you did with someone that's you're being tested by, and obviously very professional. If you can sort of throw caution to the winds and go for it, that's a big thing as well. Just to have that faith in what you do. So it's a wonderful thing. If anybody wants to have a tarot reading, you can call us in the studio. It's 702-425-9230. You can get us in the chat room as well. You can get us on Facebook. You can get us on Twitter. And you can get us on KCR Radio, the Skype name. So if that's something that you want to do, or you want to ask Brandy or myself general questions about these things, I don't read tarot, as everybody knows. So if you want to make contact with us, phone, whatever, then do get in touch with us. We were talking also briefly before we started, weren't we, about the dark side of things, because again, that kind of creeps in, doesn't it, or can creep in?
Yeah. When you start opening yourself, I actually started opening myself in I remember it was 2001 or something, 2001. I was reading some books on meditation work and getting into your senses. And when that happened, man, I got real scared, because then I started hearing things and all this stuff started happening, and I freaked out and I shut down for a little while, and I threw out the books and everything. Really scared me. Yeah. So it can get a little scary, and I've had some bad experiences myself with, I've practiced quite a bit of high magic, to get more in tune and to raise my vibration. And that's some things that I teach in my membership as well, is how to do ritual and stuff. And when I started doing it, I started doing way too much. And my whole apartment, my condo at the time, became astral. I mean, there were little lights everywhere, just little lightning bolts and little bursts and blue. And it was just beautiful. But then I started really channeling, and something came to me and was like, hey. And I was like, yeah, hey, come in. And it came in all right and started messing with me. And I was like, oh my God, what did I do? And so I had to banish it. And crazy experiences with that stuff.
Yeah. Again, I think that's something that does need to be highlighted to people, because, in the universe, there's always balance. And so if you're opening yourself to the light, the equal balance of that is the dark, isn't it? And you have to learn how to control it. I think when you are aware of what can happen, then at least you can take some precautions, you can look into it, and you can try and be as safe as you can be. But so many people do just go into it blind, don't they? And they think, well, it's like the Ouija. It's advertised as a game, which it definitely isn't. And people go, oh yeah, whatever. Let's have a party. We'll all get drunk and we'll play with the Ouija. It's a terrible thing to do.
Oh, absolutely. I have a scary story. You want to hear it?
Yeah.
Okay. So my mom's a psychic, right? And she is pretty amazing. Well, I was messing around with some people that I shouldn't have. And this guy I didn't know was into dark magic. And he came into my house, and he was supposed to banish that thing that I just told you about a few minutes ago, that thing that I was like, oh, hey, come in. But I had already been working on it a little bit. And he was like, yeah, I'll come in and feel it. And he goes, oh, I don't feel anything. And that should have been the first cue, okay, that he didn't feel anything. So then he goes, oh, I want to do this thing with you. And he put these symbols all over me. And what he was doing was an Enochian call. And so he was opening a gateway into the other side. And what he did was he did the ritual, and then he was trying to get something to speak through me, and it was really hurting me. I didn't like how it was pressing on me and stuff. I was getting dizzy. Yeah. And I finally stopped the whole thing because my guides kept throwing a curtain in front of my face. So I stopped it, and he left. And then there was something in my hallway, and she was this tall entity. She was like, I thought, oh, look, an angel. Being very naive. I was like, what's that golden yellow looking thing floating in my, hallway right next to my bedroom? Yeah. And it was just hanging right outside my bedroom. And I don't think it ever came into my bedroom. But it was there for a few days. And one night I'm on the phone with my mom, and I'm sitting in my dining room, and I can see the thing still hanging out in my hallway. It looks like this huge, tall, like angel almost, because it's really tall, and I could see it in my peripheral clearly. So all of a sudden my mom got really quiet, and she doesn't usually get very quiet. She's a Virgo, and she is a talker, right? So all of a sudden she just goes quiet, and I'm like, oh, wow, my mom just went quiet. That's great. Now I can sit here and do what I was doing, right? And then all of a sudden this thing comes flying towards me and then into my laundry room. It was like a cartoon. This thing was this yellow blur that came ripping through the hallway at me and then into the laundry room off to the left. And I'm just sitting there freaking out. I'm like, oh my God, just stunned, in the middle of the night. And my mom comes back on the phone and goes, go in your laundry room. And I'm like, I'm not going in my laundry room. There's something in my, she goes, I know. I need you to go in there and make sure it's gone. So I was like, okay, fine. I looked and I didn't see anything. And I'm like, what in the heck just happened, Mom? And she said, there was some woman, some crazy looking woman in your hallway. And all of a sudden I'm in your hallway and I chased her out. So my mom went astral and chased this entity out that got through because that guy did the magic in my house. It was crazy.
Yeah, it can be scary, and as you say, before you develop full clairvoyance, you do see things in your peripheral vision, and that's how it's happened. I mean, obviously, it's really unethical what that guy did, and I think if we could prove this to the satisfaction of the law, and we did have a chance with Helen Duncan, then you could bring. It could be charged with something, but
well, he got into a lot of trouble actually for that because he was a mentor of mine in an organization and a society, and so I had to write a letter on him, and they banned him so internationally. Brilliant.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Okay, so we've got a couple of minutes before the break, and we've got a question from Laurie, and she says, can you buy a used set of tarot cards that hold negative energy? How can you clear those cards and reset them, or do you need to just get rid of them? I bought a pair and it seemed that all kinds of negative things started happening. I love the cards but had to get rid in case. So we'll discuss that after the break. Okay. But it's not really, to my mind, I think you have to really know what you're doing. I don't think it's a good idea to buy secondhand stuff like that.
No.
Because there's all kinds of connections that can be made, can't there?
No, I agree completely. Never. Nope.
You hear sometimes of people buying things from junk shops, that they're attracted to. We've got a break. We're going straight into it, and we'll be back right after this.
This is the voice of spirit, your connection to the other side.
To understand something spiritually, you must experience it. And in order to experience it, you have to experience it in your imagination.
Explore with us by calling 702-425-9230. That's 702-425-9230.
Give us a call now.
Worldwide callers use Skype name KCOR Radio.
Everything that now exists was once imagined. Therefore, everything that is going to exist must first be imagined.
Back with your guide to spirit, Leo Bonomo. After these brief words from our sponsors.
Toxins are everywhere, from the air we breathe to the food we eat and the water we drink. In a world where 80,000 known toxins and heavy metals threaten our very existence, how are you going to protect yourself and your loved ones? Introducing Pure Body Extra Strength, the world's first colloidal zeolite that helps trap and remove toxins as well as heavy metals from your body that are messing with your memory, clarity, sleep, and focus. Don't just take our word for it, or the testimonials from our thousands of happy customers. Check out the hundreds of articles and case studies on the National Institute of Health website proving zeolite's powerful ability to remove toxins. For a limited time, listeners to KCOR will receive 10% off their first order. To get started, go to trypurebody.com and enter promo code code RADIO10. Again, that's trypurebody.com. Toxic junk is all around us, but now you can take back control of your health and protect yourself by detoxing with Pure Body Extra Strength. You'll be on your way to sleeping better, thinking more clearly, and feeling more energetic. Go to trypurebody.com right now and get started today.
You love them enough to do anything for them.
Mom, I need to be wiped.
Coming.
Including checking nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Do you love new music? Yeah! Then tune into the Americana Music Hour, exclusively on the KCOR Digital Radio Network, Sundays at 3 p.m. Sponsored by Music for Hope. From the West Coast to the East Coast and everywhere in between, Mike Jones will introduce you to artists both old and new. The Americana Music Hour, where we showcase new talent as well as artists from around the world. Mike Jones brings you a fresh new perspective, as well as shows you where it's happening and who's making it happen here in Vegas, as well as around the world. The Americana Music Hour, every Sunday at 3 p.m., exclusively on KCOR, the Digital Radio Network.
It's great. I think it's great. It's great.
The all-new KCOR Digital Radio Network.
Great.
Make a note of it.
It's great.
We interrupt this program to annoy you and make things generally irritating.
At the end of the day, we turn the lights down in the KCOR studio.
Oh, sweet.
And crank up the hottest club songs from around the world.
This is the future.
The Grind, mixed by Tina Marie, your Vegas vixen of the high desert.
What about the body? What kind of body? Good body. Nice body.
Every night from 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. Pacific. The best 3 hours of commercial-free music.
New music first.
It's time to stand up and dance your ass off. The Grind, nightly and exclusively on the KCOR Digital Radio Network.
Come on, it's kind of hot.
Welcome back to the Voice of Spirit, your connection to the other side.
There's no accidents in this universe. We all show up here with a purpose. There's an intelligence that is a part of everything and everyone, and all of us are connected to it.
Connect with us on Twitter by using hashtag KCOR. Even better, join us live in our chat room at kcorradio.com. To get a free reading during the show, call 702-425-9230. That's 702-425-9230.
Give us a call now.
Worldwide callers, use Skype name KCOR Radio. And now, inspirational clairvoyant medium, psychic, and your connection to the spirit, the host of the Voice of Spirit, Leo Bonomo.
Hi, very, very warm welcome back. We're talking to Brandy Joy, a fantastic tarot reader, very experienced, and we've been chatting a little bit of how she got introduced to cards, etc. If you do want a tarot reading, you can get us on that number, 702-425-9230. You can get us on Skype, it's KCOR Radio. You can get us on Twitter. We've got a question from Laurie. And it's quite long, Laurie, not that I'm complaining. So I'm just going to hand that right over to Brandy. Hi, welcome back, Brandy.
Hi there. Yeah, so Laurie was asking about using a set of tarot cards that hold negative energy. Somebody else had them before. So I would say absolutely don't use those. I would say get rid of those. If you really, really want to keep them, you need to go put them into some silk and throw them in a box, and then you can bury them out in the backyard and let them sit for at least 24 hours or so, and then you can take them back out. You can clear them with intention and with sage and things like that. There's a lot of things you could do to clear them, but I would suggest just getting rid of. I would burn them. I would burn them if they have negative energy. They've been used for magical practices, and they were someone else's. And so they're very connected energetically to that other spirit, that other energy. And so it's going to be a long process to like get rid of that energy. And is it really even worth it? I mean, why don't you just go buy a new deck? You know what I mean? They're not very expensive, like $20.
Yes, something like that. And in the first section of the show, you were talking about how you kept the cards with you for 7 years, and it is important to integrate your energy and the energy from the cards together, isn't it? It's important to have that blending.
Yes, it's good to, it's your energy. So even if I let someone else shuffle my cards, which is very rare, I don't trust people because when they touch the cards, their energy's getting in them. But the main reason I don't is because they might bend the cards or mess them up. And if you bend one card, then you have to buy a whole new deck, right? And there's 70 something cards in here. Is a lot of cards. But yeah, I carry them around. I keep them with me all the time. And because I use them so much, I'm very, very much connected to them energetically. And you have to use what's called clairsentience to read tarot cards. And clairsentience is energetic feeling. So with cards, you have to learn how to feel and how to pull cards with your left hand, be receptive into the energy of the cards.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And when you teach mediumship, you teach, the first thing you teach is awareness on every level. So whether that's clairvoyance, clairsentience, smelling, which is clairofactoriance. Sounds like hairspray, doesn't it? But you want to get all the kind of levels in working and at the same level, and then you go on, because it's a bit holistic in a sense, isn't it? It's the whole person, the whole sense that has to be involved, and lots of people don't understand that before they get trained. And I had students, because I don't do tarot at all. I mean, I can read them as an object, but I can't read them as tarot. But I used to have students, and they say, well, yeah, I pick them up every 5 or 6 months and I do a reading, and it's just not, it's not the way to do it. They have to become part of you.
Yes.
Fantastic. So how long have you been doing these courses online? Because I should imagine there's a lot of people want to learn.
Yeah, I've been teaching online for a few years now. I actually teach at a university, on campus and online. Been doing that for, I've been teaching universities since 2007. So I'm a professional teacher. I actually write books on teaching. So that's like my expertise is teaching. And so I have a tarot master class, and that master class is very comprehensive. So I teach you everything about the cards. I teach you everything about reading cards and how to tap in and all of that. And then I have another big thing that I do, and that's a membership at Vibe Courses. And the membership thing that I do is only $15 a month. I try to keep it as low as possible so as many light workers can join. And it's for light workers. It's for people that want to, tap into their own higher self more and tap into spirit and to clear their chakras and reprogram themselves, because when we're light workers, we're working with all of these other people. We're sharing the light. And if we're sharing our light, our light better be clear and it better have a high vibe. And so that's what I do with my membership is I every week we go in and we do a little bit of astrology one week. Well, the next week we'll be clearing the root chakra and reprogramming it and doing all kinds of stuff with it. So it's just like this comprehensive ongoing thing that I do with light workers, and it's a lot of fun.
I think that's great, because I think as you get connected to the cards, it is certainly one way that you can do readings for yourself. You can get some insight, because from a mediumship point of view, we get warnings, we get an intuition sometimes, but generally most mediums don't get readings for themselves. So a way round that is to read the tarot. And so you know, if you're going into mediumship, because sometimes I have students and they come into mediumship because they want to get messages for themselves, and it can be a bit disappointing to say to them, well, look, you're probably not going to, but you can certainly help others. Yes, you can make yourself aware, but if you think this is like a free course to do free readings for yourself for the rest of your life, you know, it doesn't work like that. So I think it's wonderful, and I think it's brilliant that it's taught at universities and a university kind of atmosphere. You know, I went with a friend some years ago. There was a college not too far from where we worked, and there was astrology there, and it was just a beginner's course. It was just for me to sort of get an insight. But there was healing courses. There was about 7 or 8 courses that we went on, and I thought it was great that an institution like that can take this up, because without wishing to sound flippant, it adds credence to it, doesn't it? You know, it's a verification.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We've had a lot of astrology universities here, and you know, I had considered taking some of that, but instead I went and took the certification courses under Jeffrey Wolf Green and stuff. I don't know if you know who Jeffrey Wolf Green is, but he is one of the most famous astrologers, and he does past life astrology. That's what I do now. I just love that. It's amazing.
Oh, do you know, I've got to be honest, I've never heard of that, but I think that is something that I would love to be interested in. It's perhaps something that we can talk about a little bit after the break. We've got a lovely lady. She's a regular to the show, Darcy, and she wants a reading. So, hi, Darcy, are you there?
Hi, yes, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good.
Hi, Brandy.
Hi, Darcy. Good to meet you.
Yes. I watch you every week on Facebook.
Oh,
and,
cool.
I'm actually, I think, in your Vibe Tribe. I just haven't been in there very much. But, yeah, I need to. Now the new year, I need to get more involved.
Awesome. Well, good to have you on the show.
Well, thank you. But yeah, Leo's well acquainted. I call all the time, and my grandmother loves to visit. So, but I decided I'd call and see what Brandy picks up.
Oh, okay.
Fantastic.
Cool. So, do you have any specific questions or areas that you would like a reading on?
Just kind of maybe the new year in general, like
okay.
Maybe if you see what's coming up.
Okay, that sounds good. So I ask Darcy's higher self and Darcy's guides to come in and give us the best answers for Darcy's highest good. What city are you in, Darcy?
What?
What city are you located in?
I live in Council, Idaho, which is a tiny little town about 125 miles north of Boise.
Oh, okay, nice. All right.
Up in the mountains.
I bet that's beautiful. Wow.
It is pretty.
Yeah, I'm down here in Florida, and it's like, we consider this really cold. It's like, in the 60s today.
Oh, yeah, that's shorts weather. Come on.
Have a sweater on.
You all live here in England. It's always cold. And the summer's cold.
Yeah, poor Leo lives over in England. It's always freezing over there.
Oh, yeah, it is. Oh, my goodness. I went to Whitby a few years ago, and it was like 30 degrees in July. I was like, whoa, what's happening?
That was a great summer for us. We hit 70, but it's like a cool 17. You usually get breezes with it. There are times when we have heat waves, but not very often.
Oh.
I know Whitby, it's on the coast.
You should come out here. We get in the hundreds in the summertime.
Oh, that'd be beautiful.
Oh my gosh. Whew. Well, okay, Darcy. So what I'm getting here for you is this year is like a big, big change for you spiritually. That's really cool.
Wow.
Yes, we've
Wow.
got the High Priestess, the Temperance, and the Seven of Swords. I
Wow.
don't know if this is something you're already working on, or you already. Well, I guess you even said that you're a part of the. I don't know if you're a part of just my Vibe Tribe or Vibe membership, but whatever that is, it looks like this year is going to be the big change. You're about to really become much more of a light worker than you have been in the past. So the Seven of Swords is speaking to me about your past betrayals, the things that have happened to you in the past that have blocked you and held you back. Seven of Swords is a card that shows choice and always looking back. So it's almost like you've been in the past, you've just been looking back too much, and now it's time for you to let it go. And so we have the Temperance card here right in the middle, symbolizing alchemy and change for the better spiritually. And that is moving towards the High Priestess. And the High Priestess is one of my favorite cards of the deck. This is the card of the light worker. This is the card of the goddess, the person that can tap into the other side, the medium, the reader, the psychic. So what I'm seeing here is that Seven of Swords is you're finally doing the work this year. As we move into 2019, you're finally going to get rid of that old baggage, and you're going to let go of those old programs, and you are really going to just go through an alchemical change that is going to make you very, very tapped in spiritually yourself finally.
Wow. Wow. That's great.
So does that resonate with you?
Yeah, I've been wanting to the last couple of years. Well, I talk to Leo all the time, but I've actually wanted to study mediumship, and I've always loved astrology. And I've tried a little with the tarot cards. I'm not very good with them, but I need to practice a lot more, I think. But yeah, that's something that really interests me.
Yeah, I'm pulling some cards to see. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, okay, so what I'm seeing is that that Leo is actually going to be a very good guide for you. So in terms of tarot reading, it's not, I'm not really seeing that as your go-to right now. What I'm seeing for you is more psychic mediumship. So really developing that, and that's what makes sense for the High Priestess. The High Priestess is the psychic, taps into the other side. So what I'm getting here is that you're going to move out and make a major change from it's like you almost have this like burden on you. It's like a block because you got 10 of Wands, all right? And the 10 of Wands is like this burden, and you're ready to let it go when you have a 10, because 10 is like, all right, I'm done, complete, right? And you're moving towards this Wheel of Fortune, and the Wheel of Fortune is major karmic shift. That's like, okay, wherever you're at now, you're about to be in a totally, totally opposite area in terms of spirit in this particular read is what I'm getting. And you have the Ace of Cups, which is a beautiful card for really just connection. So you have that ability to connect, and that's what you need to be working on, is the real connection to the other side.
Okay.
I'm going to try and set amazing. Oh, bless you, Darcy. I'm going to try and set up some online instructions and try and do things that way, because it's something that a lot of people ask for, and it's something I think I really need to get into. So thank you for that, Brandy.
Yeah,
a little booster there and that. Darcy, any last questions you'd like to ask Brandy?
Oh, yeah, I do have one question. My mom had a deck of tarot cards. And she used to just kind of play around with them, just read herself and me. That's mostly what she did. And I still have them somewhere in a box. And I know you guys were talking about used cards, but is it different like that if I tried to use those, or do you think not?
That depends. It depends on your relationship with your mother, and it depends on her energy.
We were very close.
Really close, and her energy is fine?
Yes.
Okay. So what you're going to want to do?
And actually, Leo's connected with her several times. Her and my grandmother, and they're all very close to me. So.
Great. Okay, so your energy is very similar then. That's good. So what you're going to do is you're going to take those cards, and what you want to do is you want to hold the cards, and you want to ask your guides. Okay, so do some breaths
Okay.
and just ask, is this deck okay for me to use? I want you to spread out the cards and I want you to pull a card. And the answer that comes to you, yes or no, immediately will just come to you. Okay, so just grab the card and and allow yes or no to come to you. Don't think about it, just allow, just real quick, right when you turn it over. It'll automatically come to you.
Okay. Because I did have one psychic tell me that that it was a good thing, that it would like she would pass on like good energy if I used her deck. And so I was just curious because I know you know a lot more about it. So
well, that's how
sure.
I would do it. But I'll pull a card for you real quick and see if it's okay for you to use that deck. I shuffle up the cards again and just see if that's okay. Ask Darcy's higher self and her guides to come in and give us the best answer for her highest good. Mom's cards. Yes, you got a Queen of Cups. Beautiful card. Yes, that's like the mother card. That's the card of motherhood. So yes, absolutely.
Well, my mother was a Scorpio, so she very.
Water
very
sign.
determined.
That's the water sign card. Yep. Makes total sense then. Yes. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem. Really nice to talk to you here on the show with Leo. That's great.
Yeah, it's wonderful. I'm really happy you came on.
Thank you, Darcy. It's a blessing as always, and I can see your grandmother here having a little wave and doing a little dance, which is a little bit odd, but she's a comedian, so there you go. Fantastic.
Okay, well, thank you so much. You don't have anything else, Leo? Nobody's talking to you?
No, not at this time. I'm sure she'll step forward at some point, but bless you. Take care and say hello to Laurie.
Okay. She'll
bless.
probably be calling in, I'm guessing. Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
that'd be fantastic. God bless. Take care. And it's I love the way these things kind of all blend together, and you can tell when there's a really good connection, because that water card, and she was a water sign as well. Yeah. It's these things I think that skeptics miss, isn't it? Because you get lots of so-called mind readers, and they show you how they can trick you into doing it. But it's a little bit like buying a cake or making it yourself. You can imitate, but doing it for real, impersonating, if you like, the symptom, or impersonating a result, is not the same thing, is it, as kind of doing it for real? Yeah. So it's nice that and it's a constant wonder to me how things just fall into place like that. Fantastic. It's nice as well that what you said about the relationship between her and her mum, and those kind of things, because again, I think some people would think, well, it was my mum's, they were my dad's, they'll be okay. And what you've outlined nicely is that's not necessarily so, is it?
No, it's not. Energy is everything, especially when it comes to reading cards or using tools, because those are physical things or energy. And if there's a connection there that has a bad energy, between you and that other person, then that's going to come out in those cards. It's just not going to be a good flow.
Absolutely. And I mean, it sounds funny to say this as a psychic and a medium, but you don't really know people. I love a show which we have, I think it's off air here at the moment, but we have here called Hair Hunters. That's HEIR, as in, a heirloom. And what they do is they take up intestate wills, so where people haven't written a will and the estate's just left to the government, and if you don't claim it, government gets the money. I mean, they earn millions a year. And what they do is they chase down the estates, and they find people who are due the inheritance. And they sometimes come out with absolutely amazing things. You know, for example, there was this guy, and they found him and they said, you know, you've got brothers and sisters. And he said, I haven't. And said, yeah, you've got them. And his dad was a traveling salesman. So I guess you can see where this is going.
Oh, yeah.
And so he had brothers and sisters all over the place.
Oh, gosh.
And so it was a revelation to him, you know, which can, I mean, it depends on how much money you're splitting up, of course, and what you like, if you're very
right.
But it was a real eye-opener for him. But I found this with mediumship as well. You know, I don't remember readings, but sometimes we have conversations after the reading's done. And people will go off and they'll find out that actually they have got a sister in spirit they never knew about. For me, that's wonderful confirmation for them. It doesn't necessarily reflect on me, but it's wonderful confirmation for them. And so, you know, the point that I'm trying to make is, yes, they may be a relative, but sometimes we don't know. You know, it's it can be odd. So, as you've said, you know, you have to go by either drawing a card that, as you've done, or you know, you have to really go on how those objects feel for you, because it's not necessarily they're a relative, they're great. You know what they say. You know what they say. There's nothing like family, and that's not meant in a complimentary way.
Right.
It kind of anything can happen. Fantastic. We're going to be going into the break fairly shortly. Would you like to talk more a little bit about your courses and what you cover, so people can get a good idea of whether or not to join? That'd be fantastic. Okay. Yeah. Again, if you're wanting to have a reading, do find us in the chat room. You can find us in the chat room on Facebook as well. You can Skype KCOR Radio. You can get us on Twitter, or you can, as Darcy did, phone in on 072 425 9230, and we'll be straight back after this.
You've been listening to Leo Bonomo, the host of The Voice of Spirit. Live every Thursday, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, exclusively on the KCOR Digital Radio Network. For more information on the show, guests, and host of The Voice of Spirit, or to book a private reading, please visit leo-bonomo.com. That's leo-bonomo.com. Your connection to the other side is just a phone call away. The Voice of Spirit.
It is amazing, is it not?
This is KCOR Las Vegas, home of the Digital Radio Network, broadcasting from a shack just south of Area 51. Wait, that doesn't exist. This is the KCOR Digital Radio Network. Now for the news.
In the deep recesses of one's mind, there is a voice, a guiding light through the darkness, a connection to the other side.
You're ready to wake up, you're going to wake up. And if you're not ready, you're going to stay pretending that you're just a poor little me.
A pathway to spiritual that echoes with enlightenment. The Voice of Spirit.
The Voice of Spirit.
You are a function of this total galaxy, bounded by the Milky Way, and that furthermore, this galaxy is a function of all other galaxies.
Your journey starts here and now. With your host and connection to spirit, Leo Bonomo.
Hi, very warm welcome back. We've got Brandy Joy, a fantastic tarot reader on the show. And if you want to get in contact with her, it's brandyjoy.com. If you're interested in learning tarot, she teaches at a university, but she does courses as well online. So you can get vibescourses.com and you can get in touch with her there. So if you want a tarot reading or just some advice on maybe picking a deck of cards, whatever it might be, you're very, very welcome to call in and ask. You can get us in the chat room here, in the chat room and Facebook. You can get us on Twitter, and also KCR Radio is the Skype name. So fantastic to have you back after that break. We were talking, weren't we, how amazing it is that I've noticed that there are so many martial artists that become mediums, tarot readers like yourself, because being a good martial artist, there's a whole different approach and understanding of life, isn't there?
Absolutely, yeah. It's a lot of discipline, and it's a lot of really getting in touch with your energy and other people's energy. And then, what I really loved too was the meditation work that we would do, instilling the mind and just becoming very aware of everything around you, and just energies in general. And one of the things I really liked, and I took quite a few different styles, and one of them was Hapkido. And I remember it was always about using the other person's energy against them. So if they would come at you, you would just move to the side instead of like going force it back at them. You would allow their energy to flow by you, stuff like that. So it's very energetic, Yeah,
because one of the myths about kung fu and different kinds of martial artists is, and it's kind of exaggerated a little bit in the films, but I've read really good old books where masters seem to be able to react before somebody actually moves. So there was one from a wonderful old book that I've got where a master in Japan was someone tried to mug him, which must have been quite funny, and they were holding a gun, and he was looking at the gun, and before they were standing there for a little while, but before they could pull the trigger, he'd closed that distance and dealt with the problem. And there's so many myths, aren't there, about that kind of thing. But of course, what people don't realise, it's based in reality, isn't it? Because you do get that perception and that understanding. Fantastic. We've got Nell, Raven's Pride, on the phone. So, hi, Nell. How are you?
Good evening, Leo. Good evening, Brandy. All the way from Scotland tonight.
Oh, hello. Hello, Nell. Very nice to meet you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. I'm one of the regulars. Leo's has done reading for me before. I'm one of these people who will actually go away and research after a reading.
Very cool.
So I keep Leo right.
Absolutely.
Very cool. So yeah. So what is your? Do you have like a question, or would you like just something on this new year, or what do you have going on?
See what you can chuck out for me to read a reading tonight. In the area of work.
Oh, okay. Okay. Are you currently employed? Are you looking for something new?
I'm looking for something different.
Okay. Alrighty. So I ask Nell's higher self and her guides to come in and give us the best answer for Nell's highest good. Sometimes I blow on the cards to clear them. I don't know if you could hear me blow on them. All right. Uh-huh. Well, honey, you have some options. All right, so it looks like you are a student primarily. You consider yourself a student type of person, and that is about to change. So where you're at right now, you have the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune symbolizes, and it's funny because we got this one a few moments ago as well. This card symbolizes a major change from one place that you're at now into a totally opposite type of place coming up. And what I've got is the Ace of Swords. Like, you're going to come up with a whole new idea, a new mental program running for you. The Seven of Cups symbolizes a lot of options. So you have some opportunities, you have some different options here. But what I'm seeing is like a major shift. It will be something very different coming for you. You're going to go from this more student archetype, this archetype of feeling like you're not quite there in maturity in terms of your career in some way, to this new Ace of Swords, this new mental program, this whole new way of doing things. So yes, I definitely, when you get the 10 of the wheel, which is the number 10 major arcana card, right in the center of your spread, that shows that where you were before is going to shift into something totally new idea. This is going to be more of a mental challenge for you. As you get into this new work, you're going to be very challenged mentally, and you're going to finally feel more fulfilled in that way. But you do have different options to take. So it's not like you have one road here. It's not like you said, oh, this is going to be the absolute road. Sometimes I get that for people. But with you, I have the Seven of Cups, which is options and opportunities. So this is something that the spirits want you to feel out. They want you to take the path. And so whatever it is, though, it's going to be very different from where you're at right now.
Okay, because what I want to do is be self-employed.
Okay, that would make sense for an Ace of Swords. Ace is like a new beginning, right? And a sword is about a whole mental program that you have running. So right now you have this Page of Cups, which is more like a student archetype. It's more like you feel like you're learning. You feel like you're not there yet. You're not mature in that area. But you have this shift coming. The Wheel of Fortune is going to shift you, and that's karma, okay? And that's going to lead you into an Ace of Swords archetype, which is when you are going to have a new mental program running, and you are going to do something totally different. You're not going to be that student archetype anymore. You're not going to feel like you need to grow. You're going to finally be there. So I would say yes. It looks like Ace of Swords is the way to go, which would be entrepreneurship for you. It would be a more mature way for you to develop. And the Seven of Swords, the Seven of Cups is symbolizing that there's options and opportunities, right? So this is something that you get to put together. This is something you get to dream up. And so the spirit is saying, hey, this is on you, honey. You've got to make those choices. It's like a choose your own adventure. But I do see that shift coming for you. I see that really happening. So yes.
Thank you. I can say I've spent the last few years teaching myself certain skills, knowing that this was coming. So it's a case of hurry up and deliver.
Okay, so well, let's see if we have some advice for you. Yes, we do. Okay, honey. All right, you got the Four of Swords, the Five of Wands, and the Devil card. So the Four of Swords is reflection. And what it's telling you to reflect on is the Five of Wands. That means that there's some type of tension in play here. So you need to reflect on whatever that tension is. And you also got the Devil card. And the Devil card means you have some negative programming that is in your low chakra area. Devil card symbolizes low chakras. So that would be like survival. That would be like feeling like you now have to take care of yourself in a very survival mode type of way. And can you really depend on yourself? So this is like saying Four of Swords, reflect on this tension within your lower chakra system. So you need to do some clearing. You need to do some good root chakra and second chakra clearing. So this is how we survive. The first and second chakras are about survival and connection to your higher self and intuition, and really feeling like you can trust yourself. So what I'm getting here is that you don't feel like you can trust yourself enough to really take it on and to take care of yourself. And so what these cards are saying is Four of Swords, reflect, meditate, get into a deep clearing of those two lower chakras, and that once you get that tension, that Five of Wands and the Devil out of there, and you clear out that programming and you write a new program, which goes very well with the Ace of Swords, new mental programming. You remember what I said? New mental programming is what this is about, because you have to mature out of this Page of Cups. And the Page of Cups is the student archetype. You've got to get out of that by clearing the Devil, which is your own shadows that are blocking your first and second chakras, which have to do with your survival.
Okay, I can say just January is not a good month for me. I feel a lot. January's kind of month I feel kind of a lot of downness, so I'm trying to kind of get out of January, and once I've got out of January, I'm okay. But January is a case of a month of self-doubt.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting, is that the Devil and the Five of Wands, you have to clear that out before you can reprogram. And that's what we're doing in the Vibe membership too a lot right now, is we're doing root chakra. We just did that, and so that's up in the library. And next week we're going to be doing the second chakra clearing and reprogramming, because I help light workers, to kind of clear and develop themselves so they're more clear.
I'm a healer.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. So you might want to check us out for a month and take some of those classes, because I have a huge library of classes that you'll have access to if you jump in with us. But you definitely need to clear. When you get the Devil card, that's low chakra survival tension, just like shadow work that you need to do. You need to do your shadow work before you can reprogram,
Okay, thank you very much.
May I ask a question on Nell's behalf?
Absolutely.
How about money and going forward?
Okay. So what about money? Do you want to know if she's going to make more money in her business, or if she's...
Yeah. Just the money situation in general. A rise in income. Yeah.
Oh, guess what? You got the Nine of Pentacles, honey. That is the money card. There's two real money cards, and that would be the King of Pentacles and the Nine of Pentacles. And you have the Nine of Pentacles, and that means abundance and fruitfulness with discipline. So the Nine of Pentacles is a beautiful lady. She's very wealthy, and she's standing in a fruit garden of grapes, and she has 9 pentacles around her, and she has the falcon on her wrist, which has the glove on it, symbolizing that under discipline and taking the real discipline, really grounding down into discipline, you'll be very fruitful and abundant. So absolutely, with discipline though, don't forget that. It's saying to discipline. You got the Four of Swords, which is reflection and meditation, and you've got the Nine of Pentacles, which is discipline will bring abundance. That's what's missing there, is you've got to discipline yourself and really, really just schedule in. If you need to, schedule in your meditations every day and schedule in your work for your business every day. And, there is a podcast that I actually subscribe to. If you don't, Leo, do you mind if I mention it on here?
Absolutely not. No. Yeah,
it's wonderful for people that are trying to market themselves. And it's Amy Porterfield. I forget the name of her podcast. It's Marketing Made Easy, something like that. But her name is Amy Porterfield, Amy, and then Porter Field. So Porterfield. Look her up, and she has a wonderful podcast that I listen to every week about, being an entrepreneur and marketing yourself and stuff like that. She's a great resource. So if you are trying to work on your business stuff, she might be a good resource for you.
Okay, thank you very much. Brandy. Leo, got anything to add?
No, I just wanted to kind of...
What, no William tonight? Oh my God, where's William tonight?
He's gonna be quiet. I think, let's see if we get... Yeah, because I was meant to do something for you today, and today just got away from me. So I think William's just hinting at that. So it's something I need to get on. But I just wanted to kind of get a confirmation from another angle of something that we've discussed for quite some time, and it's taken, in a sense, it's taken quite a lot of time to get nowhere, hasn't it? So I just wanted to get that confirmation.
Well, not nowhere. It's been a case of clearing out the crap and replacing the dross with gold.
Absolutely. Do you know, I was shown something. Someone sent me a wonderful little thing. In Japan, if they break crockery, what they do is they join it back together with gold. So you get a sort of cracked plate, and the cracks are filled in with gold. And what it represents, whatever you drop, a saucepan, a cup, or whatever, it represents some hardship in life that is actually valuable in pushing you in the right direction. So there is through adversity we learn, and we actually come out better, and it becomes more valuable to us. So I just kind of wanted to add that. So I just wanted to check on your behalf, really.
Thank you, Leo. But like I say, the time has happened. It's been a more of a develop. Everything that's happened it's been challenges and overcoming it and developing and really understanding myself more and understanding my connection to spirit more. So it's all been for the good.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, we're going to let you go because we've got Laurie on the line now. So you take care, and I'll speak to you soon. God bless.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Okay, we've got Laurie. Laurie, you've been holding on. I do apologise. How are you?
Hello.
Hi, Laurie. You've been hanging on a long time. I do apologise. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing well too, thank you. I'll hand you straight over to Brandy. We've got in about 7 minutes we've got a break, so if you want to hang on after that, fantastic. Laurie, Brandy, Laurie.
Hi, Laurie. Nice to meet you, honey.
It's nice to meet you too. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful. I'm so glad you're here with us. So where are you at, Laurie? What city?
I'm in Pennsylvania. I'm in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania right now.
Oh, cool. Very nice. Okay, so what brings you here for questions for me?
Basically, I was looking for a little guidance. Possibly, I've been life is getting very interesting. I've been meditating and looking to go, with my spiritual journey. I've been doing a lot of meditation and things like that. And some really strange things have been happening. I'm talking about electrocuting, shocking, light switches are driving me nuts.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
My crazy car turns the radio like off and on and all kind of good stuff. So I'm just wondering, what in the world is going on?
Oh, yeah.
Too much energy.
Yes. And that's electromagnetic energy. And what you're doing is when you're meditating, you're actually, so what that comes down to is photons. Okay, so you are increasing your photons. I know that sounds a little crazy, but you're increasing your photons when you're meditating. And when you increase that, that's called increasing the light. It's called raising your vibration. And I do that too, I know. My mom, in fact, is a natural born psychic, and she has always had that problem where she turns things off and on, the radio, everything all the time. It's like crazy, right? But, that's just depending on how much electromagnetic energy you're vibrating. How many photons you have. So if you're meditating, what you're doing is you are actually increasing your light. And when you increase your light, that affects everything around you because everything's operating through electromagnetic energy,
Right.
Yeah, it's funny because I teach stuff in the membership and everybody's raising their vibration, meditating, and then they're calling me saying, "Oh my God, what is happening? I feel vibration all over my body." And it's like, yeah, well, now you're an antenna. Now you can really tap in because when you increase that antenna with that kind of work, when you raise that vibration, you're a lot more sensitive, and that makes you better able to channel.
Okay. Now I had one other question that really is good to me. Every time I start to, like right now, I am talking to you about my spiritual journey and the things that I'm going through, and my whole body is like pins and needles. Like I got this chill from my toes to my head. It's like, oh my goodness. Is this more photon?
Yeah. Well, okay. So yeah, it is. You need to ground. Okay. There's a few things you need to do. You need to do some grounding exercises. Do you ever like go out into nature and take your shoes off and do like some exercises or walk around on the ground?
Very rarely do I get the chance to do that. Right now we're in our winter, so we're like freezing our little toes off out here.
That's true. Now, another way you can do it, you can grab a sink. So you have the faucet, right? Turn the water on high, and I want you to grab the sink faucet as the water is flowing through it. That can help to ground you. There's quite a few other things you can do, like there's some exercises you can do to control your energy. So one of the exercises is called circulation body of light. I won't go into that, but another one is to do what we call pore breathing. And so when you breathe in, I want you to imagine that you're breathing in your own aura into all of your pores. So you're sucking in your aura into all your pores. Okay, so when you breathe in, you just sit there and you breathe. And so you breathe that aura in. And that is going to condense all of that energy, because right now it's all over the place. It's scattered out, right? So right now you need to pull that energy into you. So just close your eyes and do some breath work and breathe in and imagine all that energy is flowing into your pores. And that will it'll bring your aura closer into your body.
Okay. All right. That sounds excellent. Oh, I guess I need to start picking up some classes and stuff and start really, getting more solid with it. I'm like kind of on my own, and I'm just, I don't know. Things come to me. Things to do just come to me. So I do them, and then I'm just like, wow, this is interesting.
Laurie, have you got a question you would like Brandy to answer? Because we're just going to go into the break in about a minute's time. Is there something again that you want to ask?
Yeah, real quick, just kind of what do you see for me happening in the next week or two as to either my spiritual or...
We're just going to go into a break, and we'll get the answer to that after this.
This is the voice of spirit, your connection to the other side.
To understand something spiritually, you must experience it. And in order to experience it, you have to experience it in your imagination.
Explore with us by calling 702-425-9230. That's 702-425-9230.
Give us a call now.
Worldwide callers use Skype name KCOR Radio.
Everything that now exists was once imagined. Therefore, everything that is going to exist must first be imagined.
Back with your guide to spirit, Leo Bonomo. After these brief words from our sponsors.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Alien Deceptions, a suspenseful sci-fi romance thriller by Tina Marie, featuring the tantalizing Erica Jones and the mysterious Russell Hamilton. An out-of-this-world book of fiction based on years of document facts and files the government does not want you to know about, at least not yet. Alien Deceptions by Tina Marie. Available now at Amazon.com or get a signed copy at TinaMarieEntertainment.com. Get your copy now.
You are listening to the all-new KCOR, The Core. KCOR broadcasting from Las Vegas, Nevada to the entire universe.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is your captain. I'd like to welcome you on Jackpot Airlines Flight 1610, service to Lost Wages.
They say what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Well, apparently, they need a reality check done Vegas style.
Vegas, 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 Vegas.
Tune in Wednesday nights, 9 p.m. Pacific, 12 a.m. Eastern, for Reality Check, hosted by Jessica Johns, exclusively on the KCOR Digital Radio Network.
Biggest star in the world, bigger than Britney and Christina put together.
If it's happening on the Vegas Strip, you'll know about it here first.
You are a dirty little fun haver.
Join Jessica Johns as she explores and goes behind the scenes of what's hot and what's not. From the best entertainment Vegas has to offer to national celebrity gossip.
That's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Jessica has her finger on the heartbeat of the city, and she's waiting to share it with you. Reality Check, hosted by Jessica Johns. Wednesday, 9 p.m. Pacific, 12 a.m. Eastern. She does Vegas right.
Yeah, baby.
If you love them enough to sit through their favorite boy band with them, then surely you'll check NHTSA.gov/the right seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the Voice of Spirit, your connection to the other side.
There's no accidents in this universe. We all show up here with a purpose. There's an intelligence that is a part of everything and everyone, and all of us are connected to it.
Connect with us on Twitter by using hashtag KCOR. Even better, join us live in our chat room at KCORradio.com. To get a free reading during the show, call 702-425-9230. That's 702-425-9230.
Give us a call now.
Worldwide callers, use Skype name KCOR Radio. And now, inspirational clairvoyant medium, psychic, and your connection to the spirit, the host of the Voice of Spirit, Leo Bonomo.
Hi, very warm welcome back. We've got Brandy Joy, tarot reader, on, and if you want to get in contact with her, it's brandyjoy.com, and she also is a tutor and has online courses. She also teaches the subject at university, and you can find her on vibescourses.com. Welcome back, Brandy.
Hey there.
Hi. We've still got Laurie hanging on because she had a question from the last segment. So, Laurie, fire away.
Yeah, I basically wanted to see where I was with my spiritual journey. With, how far can I go with this? Where will it lead me? I really, it's just something it's so different to me, and I'm enjoying it. I'm embracing it, but I just don't know where I lie with it. Where am I a medium? Is that available to me, or is it? I hear things as it is. Sometimes I think I see things. I don't know, but I'm just curious as to how far this will go for me.
Okay. I'm an astrologer. You can actually see that in the chart too. But yeah, let's throw some cards for it. So I'm gonna go ahead and ask Laurie's higher self and her guides to come in and to give us the best answer for her highest good. And sorry about my dog if you hear her. I just brought her in the house and she is drinking water like crazy. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. So what I've got here is the Knight of Swords in the center, moving away from the Queen of Wands towards the Ten of Pentacles. And so what this is showing is that you are running towards helping many people. You are a true light worker. The Queen of Wands is like the independent woman, and now it's time for you to shift into helping community, helping fellow, light workers out there, people that need your help. And what I'm getting is mediumship, because the King of Pentacles popped out for, I pulled on 3 things for you, and the King of Pentacles was your yes card, and that was for mediumship. The other 2 cards were in terms of professionally really helping people with like tarot or just regular psychic work, and I got a big no for those. It was more like, no, she needs to be helping spirits. So you're going to be helping spirits connect with other people. So you are a medium. And that is where you need to be focusing, because 10 of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, this is all very, very clear for me on exactly what you need to be doing. And that's something that you're going to be able to help a lot of people with.
Wow, that's awesome.
Oh yeah, it really is, awesome. Because, we need more of that. We really need more of that. We need more light workers. We need more people that, do their gift. And your gift in this case is helping people connect with spirit.
Wow.
With their families.
Awesome to know, because I have 2 spirits living in my house, and I hear them call me. The man calls me. This
Aww.
is funny.
Yeah. Well,
wow, that is so
that's
awesome.
The thing. Guides, they want you to do this. This is part of your path. So definitely take hold of it. This is just very, very, this reading is extremely clear for me. So yeah, absolutely. It's the 10 of Pentacles is like community, family, your, soul groups and spirits and things. And then the King of Pentacles is a huge yes card for that's what you should be doing, even career wise. And that's a very bold thing for me to say, King of Pentacles though is a card of career, a card of abundance in terms of on your right path in terms of career.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, great. Oh, I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Laurie. Thank you.
Thank you both so very much.
Yeah, absolutely, Laurie.
Take care.
Thank
God
you.
Bless.
Bye-bye.
It was nice that you was explaining about this electromagnetic energy, which surrounds mediums, and sometimes it can cause problems. Some mediums are not very comfortable working in a studio because of all the electrical power and walls and ironmongery around. And I've got a friend, a very, very powerful physical medium called Jock Brocus. And when I was in the States, he was explaining to me that, sometimes things really get affected. And we went into an electrical store and we were walking around, and he picked up what he wanted. And there were 7 or 8 tills and a bank of TVs and speakers and all kinds of things were there. And as he approached the till, everything died. All the tills, all the TVs went off, everything.
Oh, no.
And so he explained to the person that this is something that happens with him. And he handed me his credit card and left the goods there. And he walked out. And as he went through the barriers and outside the shop, everything came up again. And so I paid with a card. And I'm sure the guy was thinking, this is candid camera. This is a stunt, something. But it was quite wonderful to see. And it happened again when we went food shopping. We were in a queue of about 3 or 4, and they were paying, with the automatic counter. And he got up to it, and it just went off, and it wouldn't work. And so he went outside. The assistant came over. He gave me the card. I paid with the card, and it was all fine. So it's... Because people don't realise sometimes, as you do, you work with the internet, you work with computers, so do I. It's not all fun when they start playing up.
Right.
Because people have this idea, don't they, of being a medium is all wonderful and light and everything positive. But there can be these little anomalies which... can be annoying, if I put it mildly.
Absolutely. My mom has such a horrible time with that herself. And, she used to tell me all the time, she would say, Brandy, the spirits are telling me that it's my Rh negative blood. And she used to say that all the time. And she's like, Brandy, will you research that for me? I was like, yeah, whatever. And so finally I looked into it, and she was right, that Rh negative blood has more electrical energy because of the makeup of it. And so I did a bunch of research, and the scientist, she was talking about that, and I'm like, oh my God, my mom is right. Rh negative blood has something to do with it. So you have like a higher frequency of the electrical energy when you have Rh negative blood. So that's something to think about.
As always, I've learned something today, and that is I find that fascinating, because I've been trying to find out for a while what my blood group is, and you can go and have tests, and they charge you 60, 70 quid to do it. But with the National Health, I was born in 1957. They used to do it as normal then. But you write to them and you say, it's in my medical records, and they don't want to go back that far. And they go, no, it's not. So I'm going to have to find out a way of getting it without paying 60 or 70 quid.
Well, what we did was we went into a health food store that had a naturopath doctor, and he was just pricking people's fingers and then telling you what your blood type was. So you can go to a natural doctor, and they'll probably charge you a lot less, or maybe you can find somebody that does that there,
I might do that, because I was thinking we have the Information Commissioner's Office, so you can do a data request. And I'm thinking just do that and pay a tenner.
Yeah.
So
that would be a good idea.
I need to do that. But so it'd be interesting. I shall definitely let you know if mine is Rh negative.
I would love to know. I find that interesting. I would like to do a study on that, and just like find like 300 psychics and mediums and that are very natural at it, and see what their blood types are. That would be so cool.
Yeah, because there may be a link there, mightn't there? It's not something
it makes sense. Because if you're naturally psychic, the Rh negative, my mom's naturally psychic, but then I had to develop my abilities. I'm an A. I'm an A positive. So I don't have that negative blood type. And so it was something that I had to learn how to increase my frequency. I had to learn how to create more of that electromagnetic energy in order to do the work. But then once I understood how to do it, it's like now I can do it all the time. But I had to do that.
Our producer, Tina, says they say a lot of ET contactees are Rh negative blood types as well.
That's funny, because my mom is, she was abducted.
Wow, there must be something in it, because I don't believe in coincidences ever.
No, I'd never heard this. This is new for me, and I would like to know more, because my mom and my brother were both abducted at the same time.
That's fantastic. If you do want to conduct that study, then I can certainly on my Facebook page ask mediums to, privately send their blood groups if they know them.
That would be fantastic. We should do that. I would love that, Leo. That'd be so cool.
Absolutely, because again, it's the scientific aspect of this that I enjoy as well. Me too. So that would be great. We'll definitely do that. We'll get together on that. I'm just going to try and make a note here before I forget, because sometimes I tend to channel 90% of the time. So even though I'm not connecting with spirit, sometimes I don't necessarily need to think about things. They just pour out. And when the show's finished, it will just switch off. So I just need to put this in while we're talking. Is there anything that you want to... You said you'd written books. Would you like to sort of... Are they on your site?
No, I have a book on teaching on Amazon that's a little old now. It's from like 2011. The new one that I have just written is on teaching at universities. It's for college teachers. But that one is supposed to be published this year. But I would like to get into writing some spiritual books. I just haven't got around to that. Instead, I've just been teaching every week in the membership, and kind of from there, I'm going to take some of that material and just kind of create a book eventually here, but I haven't yet for the spiritual community. But I do have a free tarot mini course. If anybody would like to learn to see how I teach, I have a free tarot mini course. And you can just reach out to me at brandyjoy.com or Brandy Joy TV on Facebook or anywhere, and just ask me for that link, and I can just send it to you.
Oh, that sounds fantastic. And again, Tina's volunteered. Nick Redfern wrote a great book about called Bloodlines of the Gods, and that talks about Rh negative blood connection as well. That's interesting because if we go back to the Anunnaki, that were here many years ago. They tended to use us as slaves. They changed our DNA a little bit. And so many people have got C1 and C2 bones in their spine out of place, and that can be corrected. And that sometimes opens up psychic energy and mediumship altogether.
Oh, wow.
So that's something that can be done. But it's just come to me that if they altered our DNA and made other alterations, they could, of course, have changed blood types for us. So that's that's something I can get in touch with, because he's part of our organisation, Nick Pope, who's an English gentleman that's very, very knowledgeable about UFOs. He used to work for the British government, and he went in as a complete non-believer, and of course all the evidence built up, and now he's very much at the forefront of this. I might see if I can get an answer from him about this, because I would say there's definitely something in it.
Yes, I'm writing this down. Nick Pope. Okay.
Yeah, Nick Pope. He's a ufologist. I say he was taken into the government on their UFO project, basically to keep things quiet, etc., and to expound, that it doesn't exist and all this.
Right.
So he went in as a complete skeptic, and is now at the forefront. There are 4 or 5 people at the forefront of ufology, and Nick Pope's one of them. So it's I learn something every day. I'm amazed at what I'm learning tonight. So bless you for that. That is fantastic.
Ditto. Thank you, Leo.
Not a problem at all. Not a problem at all. So what would you say is the most valuable aspect of what you do, whether that's teaching or some of the tarot readings that you do?
What's the most valuable? Well, I think that my ability, my skills in teaching are my main thing, because that way I'm able to help other light workers that help so many other people to help themselves, and that's one of the issues that light workers have, is they sometimes feel like they can't help themselves enough, or they can't find somebody to help them sometimes. So I really like to give them the tools, to be able to get their own guidance through, like, pulling their own cards, through just stilling their mind and becoming more clairaudient through chakra work, clearing their old blocks, just in understanding their astrology chart too. I teach astrology. I teach evolutionary astrology. And that is past life-based and soul purpose astrology. So you can see what you have going on and why, and the karma and the contracts that you've been through. And if you did a gender switch this lifetime, and all of those different interesting things. I'm a hypnotist, and so I specialize in past life regression work. I used to do a lot of that. And I know my patterns of past lives, and I was a male warrior most of my past lives, and then I did a gender switch last lifetime, not this lifetime. So my now one of my mentors in astrology, he years ago saw my chart, and he just said, "Oh my God, you were a male warrior in most of your lives until last lifetime, and now you're here doing the same thing you did last time." And I went, "Oh my God, how did you just do that?" Because I had to go through so many sessions to figure this out, and now you just look at my chart and say that to me? Well, evolutionary astrology is really cool.
I'm definitely going to have to get my chart done with you, because again, I find that fascinating. One of the things that I find is quite fascinating as well, which again, most people who want to develop don't understand, it doesn't hit them immediately. And that is that lots of mediums have hard lives, and it's to get the experience so that you can handle what you're going to deal with people.
I'm so glad you brought that up. That's so true. And that's why I work with light workers. Yes, I've had a very difficult life, and most people don't really see that in me. And that's because of all the work I've done.
Absolutely. I think it surprises some people when I teach, because like you, I love teaching, and I love just watching, the eyes and the mouth just open and go, oh God, when the pieces suddenly fall in, it's like the light goes on, and it's like, oh, brilliant. Because I don't think there's any reward for that, because then in that sense they're hooked. They're going to do a great job, and again, it's exponential, isn't it? We teach a few, and they affect so many lives.
Exactly. Yeah. It's an intrinsic motivation for me. It's like I just love that. I love that feeling of, oh my God, like you're having this experience that I had, where you're like able to hear your spirits finally and things like that, and it's just like an amazing feeling. And people can, I have this one student, I had him years ago, and now he's a professional psychic medium, and he's just absolutely fantastic. And I send people to him because he does mediumship. He's more natural than I am. I don't consider myself a medium, even though I can naturally connect with spirits. Yeah. I don't want to do mediumship. So when I have people that want a medium, I send them over to him, because man, he is just a great student. Really, when somebody's a disciplined, great student, it's amazing to watch them take off.
It is, and we have a great sense of pride, as they do as well.
Yeah.
I sometimes have students, and they come in and they're developing, so they're developing as mediums. And I had one that kept saying, I want to be a healer, I want to be a healer. I said, that's entirely your choice, but mediumship is your path. If you want to do healing, go do it. And he never did, but he kept saying, I want to be a healer. I'm thinking, you're in the wrong place then, really. But sometimes people, they get so fixed on, I want to do this, when it's not necessarily their talent. So we have to be pliant as well, don't we?
Yes, we do. Even we do, because I actually was in a class, a psychic class, taking a class many years ago, and I love going around to see other psychic classes. And this teacher that I'm friends with him now, but he looked at me and he was like, "You're a healer," and I went, "No, I'm not." He was like, "You're a healer. Yes, you're a healer." And I'm sitting there going, I'm arguing with him. And I would not agree with him, because I didn't want to get back into the healing field at the time. And so now here I am. I'm helping all these light workers heal themselves. So, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, what mediums do, and tarot readers and that, it is healing by talking. But of course, people get that healing when they're close to us, or even if it's Australia and England, just in talking to us, they get that healing as well. So there is a type there, isn't there, of that happening. We've got a few minutes yet, but it's been absolutely fantastic to have you on the show. I'm really privileged. We will get into this experiment and find out, see if we can get blood groups and see what they are.
I'm super excited.
Yeah, it's again, something that has never occurred to me, but there you go. Life. I mean, it sounds stupid when you say life is full of surprises, because people go, "Well, you're psychic, shouldn't you know?" But we don't get everything.
No, we don't.
Thing, isn't it? People think, "Oh, you've got an easy life, everything's open." It's not like that at all.
Oh no.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, so if anyone wants to get in contact with Brandy, and this is for the tarot courses, it's vibescourses.com, all one word.
Vibe.
Right, let me just alter that. vibecourses.com, and also brandyjoy.com. So if you want to get in touch with Brandy, that's it. Oh dear, what do I say? It's been a real privilege speaking to you.
Ditto. This has been a lot of fun, Leo. Thank you so much for having me on, and I would love to maybe come back on in the future sometime. So
I would love to have you. Bless you. I would love to have you on. So just let me know. Okay. Hope you've enjoyed the show. It's been really, really interesting. And look in next week, and we'll speak to you then.
You've been listening to Leo Bonomo, the host of The Voice of Spirit. Live every Thursday, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, exclusively on the KCOR Digital Radio Network. For more information on the show, guests, and host of The Voice of Spirit, or to book a private reading, please visit leo-bonomo.com. That's leo-bonomo.com. Your connection to the other side is just a phone call away. The Voice of Spirit.
It is amazing, is it not?
This is KCOR Las Vegas, home of the Digital Radio Network, broadcasting from a shack just south of Area 51.
Wait, that doesn't exist.
This is the KCOR Digital Radio Network. Now for the news.